Hello, hello, Anar here, your friendly mindset mentor and coach. And just so you all know, this is my third try at going live today. And boy, technology keeps throwing, curveballs at me. But what technology doesn't realize and what life challenges don't realize is that I I'm a force to be reckoned with. If I decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it no matter what it's going to take. This is my third try, and yes, it looks like it's coming on exactly the way that I want it to. So, what I've noticed lately, and I want to share this with you, is what I've noticed lately is every time I come on here and I go live, I run into some sort of technology issues, and of course, it's frustrating. But I want to share my counter to that is one, I'm determined to be here and to show up for you guys and to be your champion. So here I am. Two, my very first coach always used to tell me, anytime that you are supposed to do something, you are meant to do something or be somewhere, you will find that you will run into obstacles, you will run into challenges, roadblocks, potholes, anything that can be perceived as trying to stop you from getting to where you need to go. And what she used to counter that with is that's because one, it is because you are supposed to be there. You are meant to be where you have intended to be. And two, it's prepping you for, you know, and I hate to use this cliche, but it's testing you. Are you really committed to where it is you're wanting to go? Are you really ready for what comes with where you're trying to go? So, my response to that would be, of course you are. Of course you are. That's why you have that desire. And rather than allowing for these challenges, roadblocks, potholes, adversities as signs to stop you, use them as opportunities for growth and to propel you forward, so that when you show up, you're going to show up totally prepared for whatever it is that you're looking to embark on. So, please definitely keep in mind that things aren't there to hold you back. Things are there to mold you into what you need to become in order to show up as a prepared person for where you're going. So anyway, so again, this is Anar, your friendly mindset mentor and coach. And I am taking you on a journey to creating an identity for yourself that you're going to love, respect, and sustain. And I always say sustain because we're here to live a life. We aren't just born and then gone. We grow up, we age, we grow up, we encounter different experiences with different ages. We meet different people in our lives. We embark on journeys. And, with everything comes phases in life. And with every phase, you're learning how to successfully complete that phase, right? And so you start from zero every single time. And when you start from zero, if you had tools and resources that you continuously relied on to help you to remain aligned, authentic, and grounded, then you would be that much further ahead in your journey, even though you're just starting out. Having said that, sustainability is, even though I'm starting a new journey, even though I'm starting a new job, even though I'm becoming a parent for the first time or a grandparent for the first time, or I'm starting a new relationship, or I'm moving to a completely different location, I know that I have these tools, resources, characteristics, qualities, strengths in my arsenal, and I'm going to use that to help me move that much further forward. For example, I um, I am an introverted extrovert. I can certainly have a full on conversation with a complete stranger about almost anything, and yet I love to keep to myself just as much. I love spending alone time. Um, Yet you, if you put me in a group of people in a social gathering, I can guarantee I will walk out having new friends, exchange numbers, and even maybe having plans to get together again in the future. So you, that is my one of my strongest qualities that I know that I can rely on anytime that I want. And the reason I'm talking about these, these tools and resources to have in your arsenal is because of today's domain. Today, we're going to talk about cultivating healthy relationships. And you might, when you hear me say that, you might think, well, all my relationships are healthy. Well, stay tuned with me and let's do an analysis, let's do an assessment of what these relationships are doing for you and what are you doing for these relationships. Every experience that we have in our life is contributory for everything that we do. And you'll hear me often say, and I've said it before, it takes two to tango. Two people have to come together and contribute in order for a relationship to be even formed. Let's not even talk about cohesiveness, but let's just talk about being formed. And that right there is where everything starts. So we'll go ahead and get started, in just a moment with our rules of engagement, and then doing a deep dive, or a brief dive into how you can cultivate healthy relationships and what are the benefits of those. But before I do, let me talk to you just briefly about a workshop I am launching in the near future, and that is going to revolve around doing a deep dive on how to genuinely sustainably create an identity for yourself that will carry you throughout. That's my tried and true trials and errors, and you will be able to use these different characteristics and qualities and tools to continue to propel you forward, no matter where you are, who you are, what you might be going through, right? And the very first idea I want to instill in your brain throughout this entire journey is to have integrity, compassion, and grace. And that integrity, compassion, and grace does not need to be highlighted by others. I generally do things and don't look for highlights or validation from anybody, because the only person I look at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is myself. And I have to answer to myself. I have to answer to my own barometer and look at it and evaluate my own actions. So I answer to myself and I answer to my higher power. I don't answer to anybody else. And that's a really hard, it's a really hard concept given the society that we live in. So here, stay with me, hear me out, and let's go ahead and get started. But do stay tuned for details on that workshop that I just mentioned, If you I'm offering a discount code for people who sign up before the end of these live sessions, which I believe the last session is June 9th. And excuse me, sorry. Yes, I believe it's June 9th. I will definitely take a look and verify and confirm that with you guys. Um, so I think that, the thing to keep in mind always is that you first and foremost answer to yourself and to your creator. Whatever higher power you believe in, that's who you answer to. You do not answer to anyone else before that. And when you keep that in mind, it cultivating healthy relationships become much more doable. You start, and when I talk about um, cultivating healthy relationships, I'm talking about stopping the whole people pleasing act that um, we have been programmed to engage in. We have to make sure that other people are happy, even if the cost of that is our own happiness. And I've never been okay with that. I'm first and foremost responsible for my own happiness. Once I have figured that out, then I can show up for other people as a more compassionate, graceful, kind human being. And when I do that, I teach them two things. One, I teach them how to do the same for themselves. And two, I support them while they embark on their own journey. Okay, people are not responsible for my happiness, and I'm not responsible for other people's happiness. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. And of course, the very first thing we do is rules of engagement. And you've heard me read them off to you 4 or 5 times now. Um, just a moment, I'm sorry. So, rules of engagement. Be present. Please, please be present. Unless it's an absolute dire emergency, please be present, okay? Give yourself the grace and the affordability of being here, the emotional affordability of being here. Invite everyone that you think might benefit from this live event and this experience. Everyone that we know and we don't know is going through something. And the only thing that we are responsible for doing is extending grace, compassion, and kindness and resources as best as we can. So if you know somebody who is, experiencing, um, if you are somebody who's experiencing life challenges, or if you know somebody who's experiencing life challenges or is on the brink of a change, they need to be here with me. They need to be here with us, listening to what we have to talk about, and then picking up what works for them and leaving behind what doesn't work for them. And I'll keep saying that. Make sure that you're watching the live videos and the replays in sequence, because the material really builds on itself. And for those of you that have already been watching it, you'll see that the material definitely does build on itself and sort of integrates into each other, and we refer back to the work that we've done and then build on that, right? I'm huge on building blocks as well. So please make sure that you're watching everything in sequence. Do your best to remove distractions as much as humanly possible. And or bookmark where you got to come back and listen to it. For example, today is one of those days where I'm responding to multiple urgent issues. but I did want to show up. I'm having tech issues. So it really, um, you really need to be present not only for yourself, but also for the future generation, to be honest with you. Because when you have children and you know what you're doing, then you're going to teach your children the same skills, right? Engage with feedback, comments, and questions, as I love to connect with you guys, whether it's in the comment box below or sending me a private message. Again, if you are ready to transform your life, please DM me. I want you to sign up, so I'm going to give you a discount code for an early bird registration. And of course, more details to come on exactly what that workshop is all about. And you're sort of getting that preview already anyway. And so I want to make sure that I'm giving you the discount code, I'm giving you more details so that you are mentally prepared for showing up. Register, of course, for the remainder of the events so that you get that little ping reminder that it's time for you to attend this live every Friday. And we've got, after today, we've got 3 more to go, I believe. 3 more zones, excuse me, 3 more domains to go. And I am super duper excited about the material that we're going to talk about. This is the, we've been building the skeleton. Now we're building the muscles and the organs. Sorry, I'm a nurse, so I'm talking about things anatomically. But, whatever, when you're painting, you go get the supplies and you set up your, workstation. I've recently taken up painting. And then you start to sort of put things together, right? So this is where we start to bring everything that we have done together here and now. So make sure that you are coming back for all the remainder of the sessions. Bring an open mind. I am the biggest advocate for open-mindedness. We don't always have to understand everything. We don't always have to, it doesn't have to be our opinion always. I am of the mindset that I learn something from someone every single day, no matter what the situation is. So I'm a student for life. I'm a student of life. Take notes. I'm a note taker, and that's how things get jotted down in my brain. And that's what you should be doing. You should be taking notes. Like I said, click on the link. There's going to be links available below. Click on the links. Let me hear from you. Let me get feedback from you. I want to see if there's more information I can give you guys. It's less information. So whatever it is, I want to hear from you guys. Please make sure that I do. There's also a link below to a Facebook group that is a private Facebook group for women only, where I do a little bit more with the women there. Excuse me. So if you're a woman looking to transform your entire life or a percent of your life, I welcome you to join. Let us be each other's champions. Additionally, currently the website is down, but you'll also have access to the website with the link below as soon as it loads back up. Be kind and compassionate to yourself and everyone else around you, everyone who's part of this group. Be kind and compassionate. We are all facing some sort of a struggle, and if there's nothing else we can do for the person that's struggling, let's extend kindness and compassion to them. Be honest with yourself. This is really big for me. I extend brutal honesty with myself. And the reason I do that is I'm invested in myself. I'm invested in my growth. I'm invested in reaching that next level of my life. And the only way that I can do that is by brutal honesty. And this takes time, it doesn't happen overnight. But start by being honest with yourself, even about the smallest things that are happening, right? Um, be positive, be transformative, and recognize that when you are honest, you are automatically going to be kind and compassionate, and that's going to have a ripple effect. Okay? Um, Attach yourself to what resonates and leave behind whatever that doesn't work for you. Not everything works for everybody. Okay? We are all made uniquely different, and each one of us, although facing sometimes the same struggles, are still facing different struggles. And I honor that uniqueness in you, and I continue to want to be your champion. The other thing that you always want to keep in mind is that a transformative journey is a lifelong process. Anyone that promises you an instantaneous fast food result is doing you injustice. Transformation and change and growth is a lifelong process. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My transformation and growth is almost an addictive process for myself, because every time that I do something and I grow and I practice and practice and practice and I perfect it, I'm ready to take on a whole new challenge. And you'll see that happening in yourself. You're going to find yourself to be ready for that next phase as soon as it's time. And that's called investment in yourself. The moment that you decide you're going to continue to grow, the moment that you decide that you are a student of life, you will attract everything that your heart desires, because it is part of human nature. It's physiological for us to want to change and grow and continue to keep building on that. You'll see what I'm talking about as you continue to grow into this process. But what I do want to reiterate is that this is a journey, not a destination. And you must, if you want to transform, if you want to change, if you want the circumstances of your life to change, you must recognize that you must pace yourself and you must learn to enjoy the journey and not worry about the destination. Okay, so we will go ahead and get started. And today we are talking about cultivating healthy relationships. You know, nowadays I hear a lot about toxic traits, and this is a toxic trait, and this is this, and this is that. But what people don't realize is that, excuse me, we have to learn to work with who we are first. Then and only then can we learn to work with what stands in front of us. We must first conquer what's inside us to then be able to conquer what's in front of us. I will say that again. We must first learn to conquer what's inside us to then be able to conquer what's in front of us. And that is such a profound thought, because everybody always talks about, I listen to coaches talk about, well, this is how you deal with people, and that's how you deal with life's adversities, and on and on and on. And that doesn't work for me. What works for me is me. And so as long as I'm able to work with what's inside me, I'm easily able to work with the demons that are in front of me, what's out in front of me. right? So 8 zones, each one of them has anywhere from 8 to, I used to say 11, and I feel now like this one is 14 zones. And think about how important that is to have 14 zones uh, of cultivating healthy relationships. And a lot of it is integrated and complex and interconnected. And that's why it was so important for us to work on the 4 domains that we worked on before, because that is what was helping us to conquer what was inside us. Now that we've done that, we will take it and then face what's in front of us, address what's in front of us, manage, navigate, build, all these words, right? Um, Before I dive into how you can build healthy, cultivate healthy relationships and build healthy relationships, I want to talk to you about the benefits of having healthy relationships. So, I'm not going to worry about what's toxic because I don't worry about what's negative. I only focus on positive, right? I negate the negative. I don't need to worry about that. I need to worry about what's working. When you have healthy relationships, you are going to see an automatic transformation, positive transformation of your mental health. When you are surrounded by people who are down and out, when you are surrounded by people who emotionally are not doing well, you will also automatically experience that. However, when you are surrounded by people who feel balanced, who feel healthy, who feel like they have a positive aura around them, your mental health will automatically experience an improvement. And so will your emotional health. Another benefit of having healthy relationships is increased joy, happiness, and fulfillment. You are going to feel more complete. You're also, because you're going to feel mentally well and emotionally well and experience joy, happiness, fulfillment, your body will automatically start to feel happy because you're happy. Your brain is happy, your heart is happy. So your body will be happy. You will have refined communication skills. It's so important to be able to communicate well, whatever the subject. It's so important to be able to present your message in a way that it is received. I'm not talking about received well. I'm talking about received. Keep that in mind. When you are surrounded by healthy relationships, your conflict resolution. So, you know how people talk about confrontation? You get into confrontations when you are surrounded by unhealthy relationships. However, when you are surrounded by healthy relationships, you engage in conflict resolution, not confrontation. Think about that. There you go. You'll have sustainability. You'll know how to navigate life. You will have a this desire of self-development. You'll want to be more. You'll want to be greater. You won't be weighed down. So these are some benefits, while not limited to this, just a summary of all the benefits that you receive when you're in healthy relationships. And I'm not talking about, your significant other or your spouse. I'm talking about in general, your parents, your children, your friends, your coworkers, your peers, your supermarket person, people at the gym, whoever it is, your book club. All of these are benefits of being a part of healthy relationships. And to start off with, it starts with you, and then you expand it to your immediate surroundings. Excuse me. So, the very first zone in cultivating healthy relationships is knowing who you are. Know who you are. Period. That's it. Know who you are. And I'm just going to move this right in front of me so I don't keep turning to the side, and then we'll keep talking. Know who you are. And think back to all the things that we've talked about in the 4 domains that we reviewed since we started these live events. We discussed self-awareness, introspection, self-discovery, strengths and opportunities for growth, how you see your body, how you feel about your body. These are all important things about yourself. That's 50% of your hard work, the first 4 domains. The rest is now just bringing it all together, right? And I talked about that. Think back to the time when we talked about practicing mindfulness through meditation and journaling. This is going to help you to figure out who you are, who you want to be, how you want to be, and what type of relationships you want. Think back to day 1 when we discussed self-awareness and introspected on our values and beliefs. Are they your own, or are they a compilation of all that you're surrounded by? What you believe in, is that your own? Is that something that you've come up with on your own, or is that a result of the people that you're surrounded by, the culture that you live in, the religion that you might, follow, the city you live in? Those are all important factors. And then, is this something that you want to continue to believe in and feel? Seek feedback from your trusted ones. And these could be your mentors, your coaches, your trusted friends. I have a couple of friends that help me recalibrate all the time. They're invested in me just as much as I'm invested in them. Excuse me. Reflect and learn from your past experiences. Take note that I said reflect and learn, not dwell. Huge difference. Don't get stuck in it. Think about it, analyze it, learn from it, and move on. Okay? Be scared and do it anyway. This is one of my favorites. Be scared and do it anyway. And the reason that I say this is you weren't scared to learn how to ride a bike, were you? You were so excited. You weren't scared how to learn how to swim, how to drive. You weren't scared when you got behind the wheel of that car. You were just excited that you were going to get to drive. That's really big. That's really big. Think back to that feeling and keep that feeling in your heart. Learn new skills, meet new people, do solo traveling, do the uncomfortable, and refine your strengths and invest in your opportunities of growth. I'm learning how to paint. I'm not an artist. I'm learning how to paint. Invest in self-development. Again, you learn how to ride a bike, you learn how to drive a car, you learn how to swim, you learn a new sport, you learn how to walk, talk. We learned everything. And that's all this is. It's a lifelong learning journey. The next zone that I want to talk about, we are slightly limited on time because of tech issues, but so I'm going to kind of keep going. So bear with me. I will give you stories when they're appropriate. Know your standards and boundaries and be comfortable communicating them with the people around you. Think back on the things we talked about in terms of core values. This exercise that we completed during the acceptance and ownership of self live event, revisit these core values. Create what does and does not work for you in the present and in the future. Now, these are your standards and boundaries, and become comfortable with them so that you can become comfortable communicating them. Excuse me. Be prepared to respectfully communicate them, as I mentioned. First, begin by simply listening. And when I talk about simply listening, listen with the intent of understanding and not with the intent of responding or reacting. Just listen. Sometimes that's all that's needed. When communicating, use I statements rather than you statements. There's a whole session that I've planned out, and we do a deep dive on the I statements versus you statements. But I'll give you a brief. When we are communicating, we are talking about our feelings, not about the other person's actions. For example, when you, let's see. So, for example, if somebody doesn't show up for you, there are two ways to say it. When you don't show up for me, I feel abandoned. And I'm going to rephrase that. I feel abandoned when you don't show up for me. Think and reflect on those two statements, and we will do a deep dive in our workshop about exactly what these mean and how to use them to communicate your message. This is about your standards and your boundaries and nothing else. And that's not selfish. You're communicating what works and doesn't work for you. Let them know how you feel, not how they make you feel. Let them know how you feel. Highlight examples if need be. Remember, you're not trying to tear people down. You're trying to cultivate relationships. Take charge of your own feelings, standards, boundaries, and relationships. It's yours. It's no one else's responsibility but yours. The next zone that I want to discuss in this is know your goals. Where do you want to go from here? Know your goals. Reflect back on your values for your present and your future. Practice mindfulness and conceptualize what these goals are going to feel like. Take note, I said feel like, not look like. Feel like when you achieve them. What you want for your future and turn them into goals. The feelings. I'm going to repeat that. Practice mindfulness and conceptualize what you want for your future and turn them into goals. Categorize your goals in order of highest importance. And don't have 10 for a year. I've done a whole session on what to do in terms of goals. How to set goals, how to achieve goals. If you're interested, please let me know. I will be glad to share that with you. Before you get started, remember one thing. Pace yourself. This is a sprint, not a marathon. And we talked about this. Enjoy your journey. Create an action plan and just get started. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. Just get started. If you wait for the right time, it will never show up for you. If you wait for the right time, it will never show up for you. The right time to start is the time you are in currently. Always do a check-in with yourself and be open to re-evaluating and revising your action plans. Not your goals, your action plans. So I'll tell you, I just want to show you. I don't think I have it in front of me. Oh, I do have it in front of me. So in terms of goals and in terms of check-in, I do a monthly check-in. Okay, just so you guys know, I do a monthly check-in, and I have this beautiful law of attraction planner that I've been using for 5-6 years now, and it literally comes with everything. So I'm not selling this, and I'm not affiliate marketing or anything, but understand that this is what I use for myself, and it comes with everything that I think I'm going to need. Monthly planner, weekly planner, goals, priorities, action items for the day, which includes gratitude, meditation, journaling, working out, drinking water. Then it gives me, at the end of each month, like it gives me a 3-page spread with questions about the check-in. So I'm really not even having to think about my check-in. I'm just doing it, right? So do a check-in with yourself. Are you where you want to be? And then if you are, great, keep going. But if you're not, which we're human beings, you may not. And if you're not, that's okay. Just be open to revising and re-evaluating, but not falling off your path. The next zone that I want to talk about, perfect. Okay, the next zone I want to talk about is Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change you wish to see in this world." And I've done a little bit of I've done a reel on this. So if you are interested, go back on my page and you'll find it. It's part of the cliche series. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Determine the change that you want to see. Start the change process by first changing yourself. Do something about that change and be patient, flexible, and persistent. And I want to repeat this whole zone for you guys again in case there's a word or two that you missed. Determine the change that you want to see in the world. Start the change process by changing yourself. Do something about the change and be patient, flexible, and persistent. It's hard to be patient, flexible, and persistent, especially if you don't see things working out for you. Okay, just real quick example. I'm a lone wolf. And I, actually read something this morning, and I think, today's the perfect day to be talking about cultivating healthy relationships. And I read something this morning that said um, people with the highest vibration will have the least amount of people in their lives. And that made me think about myself. I have a handful of friends and even less number of people that I talk to on a daily basis. And, I'm human. So I used to question myself. I used to wonder, is there something wrong with me that I only have so many friends? And I didn't know what to do with that. Um, and I didn't know like how to navigate that until I realized, and I shared this with a friend of mine this morning. There was this woman who used to continue to chase me. Oh, you never call, you never text, you should come over for lunch, we should hang out. And this was a very recent experience within this last 1 year. And she would chase and chase and chase. And so I started to reciprocate. I, thought to myself, it's okay for me to let my guard down. And as soon as I let my guard down, she did a 180 on me. And now she'll pass by me and sometimes not even say hello or even acknowledge my existence. And I had to reflect on that as to what that meant. And part of it was my contribution that I didn't reciprocate. So I take responsibility for that. However, there was something about that relationship, that situation, that just kept preventing me from reciprocating that, um, the fact that she was seeking me out. And I really thought about it this morning, and there's something in my energy that simply will not allow for me to be in the space of people that are not safe for me. And that took a lot of time to get to. So follow my process. Listen to what I have to say. Learn from me, and you'll be in that same place. You will automatically seek safety. You'll automatically be provided with safety. Excuse me. Okay. So the next zone that I want to dive into is it's okay to let your guard down. And I think this story was a perfect segue into that. It's okay to let your guard down. However, proceed with caution. There's no rush. Trust your instincts and your intuition. And I literally, the story I shared is exactly all of this. Keep your past experiences front of mind, but don't allow it to hold you back. And recognize your reservations and where they stem from. So, recognizing your reservations and where they stem from is sort of a sticky situation. It's a sticky slope. And the reason I say that is, are you coming from a place of trauma, uh, unhealed trauma, or are you coming from a place of preservation? Right? That's going to be really big for you to keep in mind is, are you coming from a place of unhealed trauma, or are you coming from a place of excuse me, preservation? And again, we do a deep dive of this into my workshop, which will start July 12th, again, I believe. And it's an 8-week workshop that does a deep dive into everything that we have talked about, and it builds on that. I have interactive sessions planned for you guys. I have one-on-one sessions planned for you guys, and I take you through that journey of finding out who you are and then stemming out like an oak tree that grows from within. And you have grounded, authentic, aligned, sustainable roots that will continue to grow and branch out and, you know, stem leaves that will sustain you for the rest of your life. If you're interested, I want you to DM me so I can send you a discount code. And with that, I will leave you to the rest of your weekend, and I hope you have a inspirational weekend and just ready to dive into that next phase of your life. Again, this is Anar, your friendly mindset mentor and coach, and I look forward to being your champion, your cheerleader as you embark on this next phase in your life. And I hope you have a great weekend.